Thank you so much for stopping by. I am Tia the Southern Rose, and I am going to make this my very last recording because there continue to be some background noises that I just could not mitigate. So, here we are, and today I've had a few sips of wine. I'm going to slide back and hopefully, yeah, we'll get this all adjusted. I have this wine. This wine is not my favorite. It's not very good, but it is sweet and it's good for a little bit of sipping. So I'm going to sip on this and talk today. So, first things first, we're talking femininity today. And I I cannot recommend any femininity coaches on YouTube. I'm sure some of them are very good, but I've not used any of them. I had various feminine role models, and I have gone to a finishing school program. However, what was taught there was just a development of the things that were laid down as groundwork in my childhood. So it wasn't a huge dive into brand new concepts. That being said, if you do feel like your particular brand of femininity isn't working for you, definitely by all means search through YouTube until you find someone that resonates and see what they do and if that feels good to you. The last thing you want is to be performing femininity, where you're doing all of these things with the hope of a certain ends, but it doesn't feel authentic to you. Your femininity has to be authentic, otherwise, the changes won't last. That being said, I want to talk about what reclaiming femininity meant for me. So, first off, for me, reclaiming femininity meant getting very clear on what feminism was and wasn't. I had heard the arguments before that feminism ruined femininity, and nothing could be farther from the truth. Through my deep dive into this topic, what I found was that feminism simply expanded the opportunities available to women, and that's as far as it goes. It didn't say that women couldn't stay in the home anymore. What it did say was if we choose to do these other things, we should not be mistreated or treated as second class citizens for it. And as a Black American woman, specifically, it's very important for me to recognize the gains of feminism that allow me more opportunity than might have been afforded me before feminism. So, that being said, the one thing that I jotted down as being the biggest threat to femininity is the general lack of safety in the world we live in. Femininity, as a general rule, is considered soft and vulnerable and creative. And the truth is, in a violent or cruel world, being soft and creative can be dangerous. For those that are familiar with Hindu deities, you think of Kali. Kali is a dual entity. And so, for those that know the side of Kali that is a murderous, I hate to put it like that, but the more fierce side of Kali, those that know it understand that this is not all she is. And so, when you think about femininity is not strictly softness and vulnerability, but it is also that. And if you live in a space or a world where those things can be your downfall, then of course you won't put them on display frequently. It's not safe. And if nothing else, um, the lizard brain wants safety. And so we as women who want to embrace our femininity have to find a happy balance between what's safe to show and what we have to keep under wraps just for ourselves. And what happens is sometimes we forget that even if we're not showing that side to the world, we still have to keep it for ourselves for that very authentic femininity to always be present. So that was the first thing, just kind of understanding what really ruined femininity. It wasn't feminism. The next thing is I had to kind of get clear on what my steps were for getting back in touch with my femininity. And the first one was I had to remind myself of what femininity means to me. the femininity that had been modeled by the women in my environment didn't always 100% resonate. My mother really enjoyed having a career outside of the home, especially since her career allowed her to be on the same school schedule as me and my brother. However, my version of femininity doesn't involve an outside of the home occupation. That's just not what I want to do. And so once I got clear on what femininity looked like for me and all of the aspects of it, that really helped me to reclaim it for myself. The next thing was I had to start affirming the worth of my version of femininity. It's very easy to say my version of femininity isn't impressive because it doesn't fit what the mainstream says. This could be the case for working women. It could be the case for stay-at-home mothers. It could be the case for anyone in between. People who've decided they don't want to have children. People who've decided they want lots of children and to still work a full-time job. Whatever the combination is, your version of femininity is valid, and sometimes you have to take time to be affirmative of that. So that's what I did. I affirmed my worth. I affirmed my femininity regularly in order to make it truer to me and to stand prouder in it. The next thing was I had to put on the armor of femininity. That means I had to wear the things that reminded me of my version of femininity. For some women, that will be a power suit, period. It'll be their power suit. It could be a pantsuit. It could be a blazer and skirt, whatever. That could be their version of what feels good to them and their femininity. For other women, it might be a coverall that they use while they work as auto mechanics or painters or whatever lights them up. For me, it was dresses and makeup and hair and nails. It was all of those things, having regular pedicures and shaving and all of that. That felt feminine to me. I feel more like myself when I do those things. That doesn't have to apply to everyone. And for those that don't apply to them, again, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. You've heard it before. I'm saying it in this video. So definitely putting on that armor of femininity. The last point, oh, this is so important. I had to remove the people that tried to force me into their version of femininity. This really showed up in romantic relationships because my version of femininity includes a good deal of homemaking. And what happened was I was meeting these people, and these people were not in alignment with my version of femininity. They wanted someone who was going to go into the relationship with their energy, but also to pour more into them than they were willing to pour into the people. So there were people who didn't see me as an individual as being worthy of provision and protection. And of course, those people are out. You can't have them close to you. They will contaminate your self views and will make you start to question whether what you want is valid or even possible. There were some that didn't think that homemaking was valuable at all. And since they don't value it, of course, they don't want you to value it, because if you value it, this could cause them discomfort. So, first, it was the personal aspect. I don't think you, Southern Rose, are worthy of provision and protection. Then it was, I don't think anyone's worthy of provision and protection in that aspect. And then the last one was they couldn't afford to protect and provide in the way that I deemed suitable. And that's one thing that has always been in a person's control to an extent, depending on where they live, of course, how much they earn. And so when I meet people who would say, well, that's not realistic because it's too expensive nowadays, I would lose a little hope. And that's the goal of that particular argument, for you to lose hope in what you want. I've heard it from men and women alike. Oh, that's not realistic. Meanwhile, if you've seen that clip where the woman was driving the Porsche, and when she got out of the car, someone asked her, what is she doing? She said, I'm married. It's just a fact of life for her that this person is protecting and providing for me in a certain way, and I'm part of their life, and this is what I expect. It's just as unfathomable for her to not be in a Porsche as it is for these people that I knew to have someone that couldn't afford that lifestyle. So it's really about what you see is possible. And anyone that tries to separate you from your version of femininity is someone who doesn't see your desires as possible. That's their business. And it's your business to remove them if they are causing you some conflict with this. So those were the things. Yeah, I'm at about 10 minutes now. Those were the things that I did to reclaim my femininity. I redefined it for myself. I affirmed my worth. I defined the armor of femininity for me, and then I removed anyone who tried to change my definition or who tried to deny the validity of my definition, because what I kept finding was the less you believe it, the less you'll see of it. So, again, this was just a quick run through video. I didn't want to re record, I was tired of re recording. I've tried this so many times and I just wanted to get this out because for me, there's nothing more important than being able to own your version of femininity for yourself. And if that means, whoops, my earring came out. If that means hiring a coach, hire a coach. If that means um, changing a career, change a career, whatever's within your power to do. If that means breaking up, divorcing, separating, whatever from someone who doesn't match this, that's what it is because your femininity is your core as a woman or someone that identifies as a woman. It's your core. So you have to be in touch with that. And to be in touch with that is to reclaim yourself. And we know I've written or not written, I've discussed finding yourself. This is a big part of it. Defining all aspects of you is a big part of finding yourself. So that's it for today. I'll put all the main points down in the description box as always. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions or any video ideas, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, come on over. The water's fine. I don't bite, I promise. And I hope we get to chat some more and spend some, good conversations together. I hope that this channel will be a resource for you on your journey so that you can learn some fun things that I've discovered over the years and we can kind of sharpen each other. Iron sharpens iron. So I can listen to your viewpoints and you can, take mine and do what you will with them. So I hope you have a great day or evening wherever you are. Take care.